based on a given schema. So, so the comment here I'm giving is create table, and the table name that is I'm giving as user 7156, and the constraints the user table should contain is user ID and user ID, and this user ID is stored in the data type number and name, which is stored in varchar 2, and the inside range is 25, and email varchar 2 of 25, password is also again varchar 2, phone is also again varchar 20. So the user table is created, and similarly we have to create for event the table named event. So the constraints it holds is event ID, and the data type is being used here is number, and name varchar 2, and date is stored as the same date, time varchar 2, and the venue ID is stored in the data type number, and the description is varchar 2 of 500 range. And this event table is also being created. And create table venue, similarly we have to create the table named venue. So I'm giving the command create table venue 7156, and the venue ID number and the range 10, and then number and then name varchar we will store in this data type, and address also varchar 2 data type, city varchar 2 data type, and state varchar 2 of 25. So this venue table is also being created. Similarly we have to do for the same for the ticket name ticket table. So create table ticket 7156, ticket ID is stored in the int data type, and event ID is stored in the number data type, and user ID is stored in the number, seat number varchar 2, price varchar, status varchar. And this is also being created. This table is also being created. So yes, the second question is to describe the tables which we have created in the first question, that is user, event, venue, and ticket. So these four tables which we have created is to be described. So for this, I'm giving the command as describe user 7156. So this user table will be described, and the again event table will also be described, giving the same command, and describe the table name which is a venue. Then venue table will also be described with the following constraints what we gave in the first question while creating the venue table. And also lastly describe ticket table, and we gave those constraints as ticket ID, and these are the data types what we gave will be stored here with the while when we display it, when we describe it. Next, the third question is to alter the user table to add a new column age. So the user table what we created in the first question is to be altered. That is, we have to add one new column called age. So to alter this user table, we will use this command called alter table, the table name that is user 7156, add. What we have to add is age number, and the range of the age should be 3. So this is being added. Alter table uses 7156, add age number 3. So the table is being altered, and yes. So I'm displaying the table which we altered using this command dsc uses 7156. So this is being displayed. So the age already we had up to this, so it will be displayed after adding the age column. So this is the user table what we altered here. Next question is um, drop the newly added column age. So the next question, the fourth question says that we should drop column age that we newly added in the third question. We should drop, that is, which we should remove the age column. So for this, I'm giving the command alter table user 7156. That is my table name, and the drop column age. This is my command to remove or to drop my column called age. So that it will reflect as table alter, And to display the user table, I'm giving the command as ds, that is describe user table. So it will display with without the age column, which is being dropped by this command. Then the next question, fifth question states that the rename the venue table to location. The venue table which we have created in the first question should be renamed as location table. So for this, I'm giving the command as alter table venue 7156, that what we created is to be renamed as location. So I'm giving the table alter table venue, the old table name should be renamed to the new table name, that is location 7156. So the table is being altered here. And so to describe this table, I'm giving the command as DSC location 7156. That is our new table which has been created. So it will change the name. So when we yes. Then the sixth question is to modify the size of the event table's description column to 1000. So event table what we have created in the first question should be described to column of 1000. So the description column should contain the range of 1000. So for that I'm giving the command alter table event 7156. So the event table name, and it should be modified. So I'm using modify keyword here, and description varchar 2 of 1000. So description constraint should be stored in the varchar 2 of range of 1000. So the table is being altered by this given command. And to display this, I'm using this command describe event 7156. So it is being displayed here, the event table. And now if you see the description, it is changed varchar 2 of 1000. Previously, it was the venue table description has 500, so it is now being changed to 1000 by this command. That we have modified through this command. So the next is drop the seat number column from the ticket table. We have created ticket table in the first question, right? So we have to drop the seat number column. So to do that, I'm using this command alter table ticket. What table we need to be alter should be the table name should be given here, that is alter table ticket. We have to alter the table name to ticket. So I'm giving the ticket 7156 drop column seat number. The column should be dropped here. And so this is being altered with this command. And to describe the table, I'm again giving as describe ticket 7156. So the table is being described here. So the drop column seat number, here we had seat number, it has been dropped. If we see the ticket table, it has previously seat number with the data type of varchar 220. So by this command, it has been dropped here, dropped over here. It has been dropped over here. So we can't find the seat number here. So it has been dropped. So the next question is rename the user ID column in the user table to ID. So we have created user table in the first question, and we have given the constraint called user ID. We have to rename that column to ID, just ID. No need of user ID. We have to rename it to ID. So to do that, I'm using the command alter table user 7156, that is our user table name. Uh, rename it to column. Rename column. We have to rename the column user ID, that is old column name, to new column name. We want user ID to be just ID. So I'm giving user ID to ID. So the table is being altered and I'm displaying it. So I'm using this command again, describe user table. So previously we had user ID here. So now we are having ID with the data type number of 10. And then this question. So this eighth question is over. Coming to the ninth question. Modify the ticket table to add a column named barcode with the data type of varchar 250. So we have to add a new column called barcode to the ticket table which we have already created in the first question. So to alter this table, we are using. So the next question here is write an SQL query to create a table named department with the following structure. And the constraints given here is department ID and it should be an integer and it should be a primary key. Department name should be the way variable in the variable character data type, that is varchar, and its max length should be 100. It cannot be null. So the location again, the another constraint is location. It should be in varchar and max length of it should be in 100. So let's create that table. So this is the command to create that table, that is create table department 7156, that is my table name, and I'm giving here department ID. Here I'm giving number because SQL cannot handle integer, so that I'm giving here number data type and it is declared as a primary key, and the department name again it is in varchar of the range 100 and it should not be a null, so I'm giving here not null, and the location is also the varchar 2 of 100 range. So the table is being created here and I'm describing the table here. So the created what we have created, this is being displayed here. So for this, I'm using this command care of 50 and it should not be null. So I'm declaring it as not null. And the last name varchar 2 of 50. And the salary number 10 comma 2. So the range is 10 to 2. It can be from 10 to 2, that is from the range starts from 10 and the end it is 2, and the department ID again stored is number of 10, not an integer because SQL cannot handle, so it is also declared as not null. Constraint check salary of 716. So this is a foreign key I'm using here. So check keyword is being used to check whether the salary is greater or equal to 3000, and constraint, this is the foreign key I'm using here. So foreign key underscore employee underscore 7156. So this is a foreign key I'm referencing here from the department table which we have created before, and department ID references department 2. This is the table which we have created previously, and yes, this employee table is being created and it is described also. So we are using the command describe employee 7156. So employee ID first name both should not be not null, and last name salary department ID is also not should not be null. So I'm using these three as not null, declaring it as a not null, and these are the data types of those constraints.